next on RVT, Rashids Video Tube. It's the Rashid and Jan Show. Following that is Rashids Cyber Tube. It's Shicing once again, and as we celebrate with love and cheerfulness, let's indulge in the most entertaining Rashid entertainment available. And happy Shicing from all of us here on RVT, where it's Rashid all the time. You're watching RVT, Rashids Teletube Worldwide. Where is Rashid all the time? You're watching Rashids RVT. You're watching RVT, Rashids Video Tube. Oh, what an atmosphere. RVT want to wish you a very happy Shicing season. This RVT Rashid broadcast is brought to you by the Rashid and Jan Show and by delicious strawberry pudding and strawberry ice cream, a delightful treat. So like Rashid and Jan say, deliciously scoop away. You're watching RVT, an international broadcasting station. You're watching RVT, Rashid's Teletube Worldwide. Where is Rashid? All the time. You're watching Rashids RVT. From social media broadcasting system, this is RVT, Rashids Video Tube. Hello, and this is Father Rashid. And knowing that this is the season for nothing but pure love and giving, I want to wish you a very happy Shaisa. Boy, I waited forever to get here. Yeah, we flew a long way. We should be glad. And you know something? I'm hungry. Very. But what are we gonna... I don't think I want that. Well, why not? The rabbit seems to like it. Yeah, but I want something that's more of our liking. Well, what about crackers? What? Crackers, saltines. Hey, now you're talking. You bet. With less fat and calories than cookies and cake, you can't lose. Which is good, because I do go for the sweets cookies. But with these, it's rather unique. You're right. Crunch it much and don't worry too much about the waistline. Or in our case, the feather line. Yeah. So guys, if you like to crunch and eat without the beak, head out to your nearest grocer or go online at www.saltines.com. That's www.saltines.com. Silly rabbit, crackers are for birds, yeah. Uh-oh, it looks like Rashid's dog is loose again. Doesn't matter. Because when it comes to loving your pet, why settle for just a bone? It's time to love them back. With treats, you can get your dog to do a host of things. Like sit, roll over, or heel. And they will do it with crunch treats, cracker treats, or just a chewer. Yes, chewers are also excellent treats for your canine. And they come in all sorts of styles. They have treats for you too, puss. Meow. You're welcome. So reward your dog with the best. Treat them to chewy snacks.
crispy. It helps you wake up in the morning. In fact, bacon is an any time of the day treat. When you hear the sizzle, and the smell of it is alarming to the senses. It's no wonder why people can't resist it. Bacon lovers know that bacon makes everything better. Treat the taco. Treat it well, if you can keep it together. Oh, the mighty bacon. Animals love it too. It's a fact that one strip of bacon only had 3.3 total milligrams of fat and 0 trans fat. 0. And only 9 milligrams of cholesterol. 9. And 45 milligrams of potassium. And only 43 calories. 43. So flip that bacon. Crispy. Who could resist this meat? So now what do you say? Nothing if you're a true bacon lover. Keep a smile on her face as she cleans the plate. If it's one thing that should be honored, it's bacon. Shop today or go online for nutritional info facts.
Look on your social devices. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Rashids Mansion's mouse. And I want to help you guys get a good night's rest. Take a look. My back. Oh. Why should you guys suffer with stiff backs, achy joints, and so on from a worn-out mattress? There are hundreds of affordable mattress dealers in your area, and all is needed is you. Reliable mattresses that fit your comfort level. Spring design style, chic and firm. Thank you, Rashids Mattress Mouse. Anytime. An RVT ad is worth 2 in a home. And speaking of ads, don't forget about this one. And size your bedding up for comfort. A new mattress and a good night's rest awaits you. Just go to www.mattress.com. That's www.mattress.com. Anyway! Oh, I feel so terrible. What's the matter, guy? Oh, you wouldn't understand. Oh, come on, it can't be all that bad. Okay, if I must, Rashid, I'll tell it to you. I have no sweets this year. You have no sweets? Well, that's not good. No, it's not good at all. I want something sugary. I want something delicious. Here's the idea. Try some chocolate bites. Chocolate bites? Yup, chocolate bites. Tiny chocolate bits wrapped up. After dinner or evening leisure. They're great. Chocolate bites. Hey, guy. Yeah? Are you feeling any better? Long as I got my chocolate bites. I know. So, guys, when you're out, pick some up. It's great. Honoring who we are and wishing a very happy Shicer on RVT, Rashids Video Tube. RVT want to wish you a very happy Shiesting season. Gosh, you're watching RVT, Rashids Video Tube. Serving nations serving nations
Oh, worldwide. Oh. You're watching RVT, an international broadcasting station.
Read, read, read! Whether online or book in hand, explore. Reading allows us to drift off to other planes and journey to unfamiliar territory, stretching and expanding our imagination to endless boundaries. So whether online or book in hand, read.
And now, enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another chapter of, you guessed it, Isabelle's Diary. Yeah. You know, I've been thinking a lot about the last chapter of Isabelle that we covered, primarily because of how peaceful and calm their lives are compared to where we're living at today. And speaking of that, how you guys doing, you know? It's now February. It's supposed to be the coldest month. But yet I don't know what's going on here. You know? It's supposed to be cold. It's supposed to be snow on the ground. I think we're going to get by this year without no snow, sweetie. I think so. Oh well. Drifting off into another world, another land, brings me great joy. So I hope you guys ready for some good storytelling, finding out what Isabelle and her friends are up to. There's not a whole lot of stories about little girls. Well, no good ones anyway, but I really wanted to tackle Alice in Wonderland. I really wanted to tackle Alice in Wonderland. I did. That fable just fascinates me, you know? But surprisingly, when I was little, we had the album. And I say surprisingly because I didn't care for it. We had, let me see if I can remember, we had Peter and the Wolf. We had all Disney stuff. We had the 101 Dalmatians, stuff like we had Bambi. We had the Flintstones telling Bambi. Yeah. And Alice in Wonderland was in there. I listened to it. But I couldn't really grasp it. You know, I didn't really grasp Alice in Wonderland. I guess because it was just, as a child, it's kind of hard to follow. It was just kind of hard to follow, Alice in Wonderland. And I didn't understand everything that was going on. Now, when I got older, I found out about Lewis Carroll, and it was a real Alice, and it became fascinating as I got older. And when you look at that, it's all adults. You'll think a child is responsible. In fact, for all of the children books and children attire, these are adults that's doing it. There's never a point in history where a child come forward, I did this, I wrote this story. I'm talking a little child. Well, wouldn't that be fascinating if it did happen? All adults, all middle-aged, young adults wrote everything, every children's book that exists today. Every one, practically. Practically. And when all things considered, I grew fond of Alice in Wonderland when I got older. It became interesting to me. entering another world that she did and going down a rabbit hole. And so when I listened to it as a child, the album we had, I didn't really. I listened to it. The exciting part was at the end when she said "off with her head," and I liked that part because it was exciting. I didn't care for it that much. When I got older, I grew a fire for it. So now I want to kind of duplicate it. But y'all know that's gonna be on Dial Nation. You know, Dial Nation with let me see. I got my notes here. 1 minute. I am going to Alice's Wonderland. Alice's Wonderland. Alice's Wonderland. So it's not Alice in Wonderland. It's my it's kind of like it's adapted from it, but it's gonna be my viewpoint. Yeah, it's gonna be our version, Rashids' version of a little girl going through this fantasy world and meeting different fantasy situations and people and characters. So I'm excited about bringing that forth. That's later on. That's definitely later on. I can't wait to bring forth that. Should be exciting. But anyway, this is Isabelles' diary. And needless to say, it's so strange how we get older and change like that. You know, I wasn't interested in it, and now it's like, wow, I want to do something. I want to do Alice's Wonderland, and all our interests change, our tastes change, whether it's music or food. As we get older, it all changes. The strange part is, with all being said, is it good or bad thing? Is it good or bad? We know change is good. But some may beg to differ, say they don't like change in their life. Well, in my case, I'm loving it. Creating these worlds that y'all see and we talk about, like Isabelles' diary and all. It's just all I want to do. Being a writer, being in literature, and drifting off into another world of suspicion and curiosity. It's all I want to do. Strangely enough, while waiting for another world to be ushered in, God's kingdom, because we're spiritual people around here, to be, God's kingdom to be ushered in. We're waiting for that. So all of these things give my life purpose, unlike before. Being a Christian that I was before had purpose. Now it's great purpose now, because now we can see change now. But that, we'll say that for the colony. But my life has purpose now, but it didn't have purpose before. Connecting my fantasy worlds with reality and seeing a change means it's a lot. It's a lot for me. It's a lot. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. So I hope you guys ready for another thrilling adventure. It started off slow. I told you that before. It was slow. It started off really slow. The last chapter we talked about was slow. So let's see, what happens this chapter of Isabelles' diary. Right? Now, I want you guys to sit back and relax, because I want you to get the full meaning to this. So when we discuss it on Table Talk, you won't feel left out, because we don't want you to feel left out. We know that's no fun. That could be really no fun. So, anyway. Now, we start off with an Isabelle poem, too. Well, to, how shall I say, sweeten the mood of just how precious she is. And it's good to know, because, poetry was a common thing in ancient times. You could always find a poet somewhere close in town.
And beauty itself, because when you think about it, poetry is beauty. When you talk about somebody that's beautiful, you usually put a poem with that person. You say that person's poetry in motion. She's poetry when she walks by. You know, your grace is of poetry. Poetry is always put with beauty. In ancient times, they held beauty as a very common thing, a need. It was a heavy, that's the thing, it was a heavy need, not just an ordinary need. It flourished. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It flourished. It flourished in ancient times. From, like, the plays they performed to the instruments they played. And if you notice, even the men wore flowers and leaves in their hair, as well as makeup. You know, a lot of people wore makeup. Men and women wore makeup. It was commonplace. And the thing about that is, here's the thing about that. Oh, excuse me. But the thing about that is, it stretched all the way to the 50s in the United States of America. Because I remember when I was, even the 70s, even the 80s, early 80s, when you wore a suit, it was proper to wear a flower on your, I think it was your left side of your suit jacket. You wore a flower. And that was common in the 70s and early 80s, to wear a flower on your suit. And that's what the men did. Men in this country wore flowers on their suit. You know, when I graduated, I didn't have a flower, but my older brother had a flower on his when he graduated. I didn't have one. But that beauty in man with flowers, wearing it on his clothing, was common. I mean, it stretched all the way. You know, unlike, you know, it's like, it's complete. What I'm trying to say is it's completely contrast to the day's standards. Completely contrast the way we go about things today. So a poem to Isabella is fitting before each and every chapter. Not only to show that it was commonplace to do these things in ancient times, to show beauty in ancient times, but to highlight Isabel's beauty. So, kind of makes you wonder. It kind of makes you wonder why. You know, what happened to, like, how should I say this? What happened to the man, you know, like, what happened to the man that would, what got into the man that would make him turn away from the feminine beauty, is what I'm trying to say. What happened to him? You can't say things like, men grew up and we don't like to be beautiful no more. We got wise. Because if you check the history, the men that wore the most beauty, like rollers in their hair and wore stockings, they're the ones that kicked everybody's ass all around the world. All around the world. It's true. From Napoleon to the United States, wore rollers and stockings to Egypt. They're the ones that did all the ass whooping. And they wore makeup and stuff. So it kind of makes you wonder, like, why did the men give it up? I mean, what exactly happened to the man's beauty in the world? Now it belongs to the transvestites or something. You know, I don't know. It's odd when you think about it. In some areas, you know,
Like my dad, for instance, he used to wear hats in the early 70s, late 60s, and he always had a feather in it. They called them derbs. So you put a feather in your hat. They judge you by the feather in your hat, how fly it looked. It was beauty, a bird's feather. I used to play with that damn thing. I did, strangely, but it's just strange how the beauty of man just sunk. And there's no more men telling poetry with pride anymore. Back in Roman days, Greek days, the Greek Empire, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the men in power used to do plays, go on stage and do plays and tell poetry and show beauty and makeup and glamour. And they the ones that did all the ass whooping, so you can't say they was feminine. And now today they don't wear nothing, and all they got is a gun for the ass whooping today is a gun. It just makes you wonder about the deterioration, whatever the fuck that word is. Deterioration of the man's beauty on the planet Earth. Like, what happened to it? Like, now it belongs to transvestites and probably some rock singers wearing makeup and some celebrities wearing makeup, red lipstick and all. They used to. They stopped. I started there. I don't know why people stopped making their lips red, but they started up at one time. It started up on social media and all, people making their lips red, and then it just stopped, it went away. But there's nothing wrong with, you know what I mean? It's like, what's the problem? Like, I don't know. I can't figure it out. But getting back to the poem. Now, so, here we go. Not long ago, you were a mere child, and others seeing you as such. Child indeed depends on the times, and the times in turn reflect your beauty as the years went by. 1 year after another gained rich equalization and optimism within not only you and your circle, but within your womanly glory, Isabella. You're a seed of glory that grows with every whisper of the wind. Glory are you forever and ever. Glory you shall be always. Alright, and that's going to kick us off to a fitting start. Speaking upon Isabella's beauty is a priority to me because it makes common sense. It's a priority for me. When you're young, you naturally carry beauty in your youth. That's basically why it's mandatory for me. And to me, that her goddess herself is also beautiful, makes for a perfect child upbringing, along with Angina and Takaya, of course. Even though they call her a Hoyton. Now, Isabella does not get upset when they call her that. Now, a Hoyton is what they call red hairs back in ancient times. Don't know exactly why or what it means, but that's just what they call her. Isabella knows that she's perfect in every way, and she's very gallant and confident in her day-to-day activities. A mere word will never offend her, or she will never yield to such a dismay over a word. Isabella gets her strength from her father Rashid, which is me, and that strength sustains her. And that's why her best friend Angina is marveled at her and looks up to her. And speaking of Angina, you think she'll ever get her questions answered? You know, people with abilities and powers and supernatural strength or what have you, gifts, hardly ever get their questions answered. And if they do get their questions answered, will they accept it? You see, that's important. They might get it answered, but will they accept it as the answer? So in Gina's case, you kind of wonder, will that be the same for her? When she come across her answer to why she possesses what she possesses. One can never know. But being young, she has a lot of years ahead of her, so I guess it don't make quite for a situation at this point. But with her and Isabella, you know, together like that, and the way they look after each other, she knows she has less to worry about. Meaning, when Angina has a problem, Isabella has a problem. When Isabella has a problem, Angina has a problem. Their problems are their own. They take care of, they look after each other's problems. So Angina is not concerned about her answer to why she possessed what she possessed. And can you blame her? Isabella's loyal. Something that's very rare in girls today. Indeed, she's a good friend. Okay, let's start the formation. Thus, let's give a complete recap of statuses. Let me get my notes right here so we can do this. The ancient Greeks, who became the first Western civilization about 2000 BC to 20th century BC. The ancient texts we call Greek myths are mostly from the period known as Classical Greece, circa 500 BCE, in the days when the world was young. The earliest known version of Greek stories date back more than 2,700 years, written from Greek poets. Some were written earlier. Cities that existed: Sparta, Athens, Corinth, which was the richest commercial cities of ancient Greece. Okay. Just give me a second here, guys. Isabella is from the city of Exretria in the country of Hellas. And we discussed that in our last. This is just a recap of formatation before we get into our story, so you know the characters and so forth. They follow the goddess Demeter. Demeter is one of the largest and oldest goddesses of the ancient Greek pantheon. Sister of Poseidon, who runs the ocean view. Known as the goddess of harvest, fertility, agriculture, vegetation, soil, protector of land and its products. Mother of cereals, hence her name, and mainly wheat, germ, or just wheat. Demeter as goddess differed significantly from the other goddesses. Smart and attractive, had renounced from the beginning. She never lived on Mount Olympus, which I tried to bring out earlier before. She never lived on Mount Olympus. And Mount Olympus is the place where all the gods
gather at. She never lived there. But to the temples specially dedicated to her, close to those who believed and worshiped her. She had temples. One of the temples is in Exvestria. And we went into detail about how the kids were in school, and some of them go down to the Temple of Ruins and play and do all the magnificent things children do. Then is a handful that go to the Temple of Demeter. That's Isabelle's goddess. And in their temple, some of the people or children weep. They do poetry. They do art. They sing. They're very talented. They're very talented, and they go and do these things there. But a great number of them will go there and weep and pray. Demeter really doesn't have an immediate temple in that old city of Exvestria. One is stabilized and strong, standing strong and all. It's just ruins. Not everybody in Exvestria serves Demeter. Isabelle's family is just one of the families that does. And because it's harvest, they specialize in harvestation. So they have a lot of wheat germ and all, and they're very successful. That's why last story I know about the biscuits and how they're famous in Exvestria. That's one thing that comes out of Exvestria, amongst other things, are delicious bread. The overview of Isabelle's family: Takaya is the fairy that be with Isabella and Gina, which is Isabella's best friend. Her mother is Isis, and two younger sisters are Pandora and Paline. They're twins. Not immediate twins, but twins enough you could tell that they're twins. Okay. Alright. Isabella is a practicer of the harp. She's the practicer of the harp. She plays the harp. The harp is it says Isabella plays the harp. Alright, the harp is a stringed musical instrument that y'all watching now, of course. Has a number of individual strings running out an angle and a soundboard. And this instrument that y'all looking at is what Isabella practices on. She practices. Her favorite thing to snack on when she's practicing the harp is figs. Ficus carica. And that's an Asian plant from the mulberry family, known as the common fig, or just fig. It is the source of the fruit, also called the fig, native to the Middle Eastern and West Asia. It has been sought out and cultivated since ancient times. It now is widely grown throughout the world, both for its fruit and ornamental plant, and as an ornamental plant. So it has the fruit, or they just sell the plant itself. And her and Gina and Takaya the fairy are much on figs and biscuits. Why Isabella practices the fruit, the harp. Over a summary of Isabel's mother and father. I am the father. Isabel's mother is Isis, but we're separated. I'm a fisher. I'm a voyage traveler, and for the sake of the justice for the people. So I have
a pretty high standing in Eritrea. Living where he lives is easier to Richport and beyond, but visits Isis, his wife, and Isabella along with his two sisters, children Pandora and Paula. She, Isabella, secretly plans to move with her father because this will give her enough freedom to venture out into the world. And her best friend Angina plans to be with her, along with Tikaya, of course, which is the fierce. We already spoke about the slang word Horton. They call all red hairs. Zavelia is the teacher. She's the teacher of the children of Eritrea, and that's where we left off at them in school. And them deciding what they're going to do after school. Are they going to go down to the ruins of the temple ruins where all the kids go? All the kids go there. Or they're going to go to Demeter, the ruins of Demeter, which is their goddess. Isabel said, I just want to go there for some strange reason. So Angina was like, why do you want to go there? Don't you want to go down to the ruins with the rest of the children? Why do you want to go to your goddess now? To Demeter. Let's have some fun. And Isabel said, well, I don't know. See, Isabel go into these phases where one minute she's acting like a child, next minute she's thinking of something else. She's thinking of a higher being, a plateau where she wants to go and do something different than the normal. She just goes through these phases, and Gina never questions. She just follows, because she's Isabella's best friend. She just follows them. She don't think twice about it. She doesn't care. She cares in a sense of she wants to have some fun. Then the question came up, but she has questions of her own. She has abilities to control with the mind. People with the mind. I don't think she can read minds. Last time I said she can read minds, I don't think she can. I don't think she can. But she can do things. Thus, bringing us to where we left off at. At the school. After school, Isabella said, I have harp playing. This is true. After I finish the harp playing, then I'll decide, do I want to go down with the ruins with the other children? Or, do I want to go down to the ruins of Demeter, which is the goddess, where all the talented children go and people that's in mourning over dead loved ones and all. So it's a choice that she's deciding after she finished the harp, which is after school. And that brings us up to date. Now, let's begin. And hence, here we are, right back where we left off. Or, I guess you can say, started. Chapter 2, A Change. Eritrea is a pigeon village, meaning a lot of folks around here do a lot of talking. Most don't, and some just go about their business and duties. Others see stuff and speculate. But whether or not they gossip or not, the mysteriousness of Eritrea grips neighboring towns and villages and have been doing so for many years. Primarily, It's because of the reputation it's plagued with. The reputation is a tale of distastefulness and blind madness. You see, during the Egyptian and Titan War, they separated families from all areas around the Pacific, and upon separating families, they decided to take and put all daughters of men in one place. Knowing they couldn't inherit the throne, they were considered no good. Thus, they were brought to Exretria and slaughtered. And the place that the horrific incident took place was, you guessed it, the catacombs. Now, back then it wasn't called the Exretria Mystic Catacombs. It was just a water port, though ever since that event, the water has been geared to flow in a different direction. Millions upon millions of innocent little lives was lost, all little girls, and by the time the war ended, the catacombs was a desolate grave tomb. Thus, spore the rumors of ghostly little girls flourished with rich propagation. And because of such, no one goes to venture out there, and all who do vanish without a trace. So, Exretria is a barren town / city. It's a place of rebuilding and replacing, but not forgetting. It's no wonder why most of its population harbor women and little girls, and in turn, it's no mystery why the best baked goods come from Exretria, primarily those delicious biscuits. Early in the morning, you can smell the scent of sweet baked bread all through its streets, almost in every other household. And it's also no wonder why most of its inhabitants worship a goddess, and that goddess is Demeter, the goddess of harvest. So, anyway, deciding whether to hang out at the Demeter waste temples or the regular temple ruins of Exretria, we find Isabella and Gina and Takaya once again at home, with Isabella at the strings, of course. They're eating figs as usual, but surprisingly there's no more biscuits left.
This won't take long, Isabella says. I just have to perfect the last bit of this melody. It's such a perfect melody, Isabella continues. It plays in my head from time to time, and I just can't place the right chords. She exclaims as she chops on a fig. The fig juice drips off the harp strings from her fingertips. Oh, don't mind me, Angie answers as Takaya the fairy bursts into laughter. We have all afternoon, or is it evening? I keep forgetting. You always exaggerate my time playing, Isabella says. And Gina, you just don't understand how tender playing a harp is. It's royalty in itself. It just can't be rushed. Each plucking, I know, and Gina cuts in, I know. And next you're going to conclude with, if Demeter the goddess can be even so patient with growth of harvest, surely her family are expected to do the same. Patience is everything. At that point, Isabella bursts into laughter. And Gina, you got it. Now you see? And here I thought you would never understand. Oh, of course, Angina says. Why wouldn't I? Now, Isabella's harp playing is not necessarily heard throughout her outside window, but her house, that's another story. And in a strange way, it entertains Isis, Isabella's mother, as well as the twins. As Isabella's foot rocks back and forth, her voice raises a bit high as she says, I got it! And surprisingly, Angina says, I heard it! At that, Takaya leaps onto Isabella's head and starts dancing in what appears to be a swan dance of some sort, a victory. as her foot get tangled on Isabella's head, only for her to fall off Isabelle's head, laughing as she falls on Isabella's lap. Yet and still, both are amazed. Isabella, you did it, Angina says. The cord fits perfect. You did it, Angina continued. And to think I was just beginning to worry, Isabella says. But like I said, patience. Angina then says, or rather asks, please play it again. And so she did. Wow, Izzy, it's grand. I know, Angie. I know, Isabella answered. And now, because of all the ruckus, Isabel's mother even joins in on the acknowledgement. Mother, did you hear? I heard. I did. And that's why I came in to congratulate you. Now, if you only could attend the rest of your studies to be so appointed also. Oh, Mother, my studies, I forgot. Right away, Mother, right away, Isabelle answered. Her mother at that point walks away with a motherly smirk on her face, as if to say, my child. Right away, Isabella gently puts down her harp and heads over to her school sack. Angina already has hers in hand. The founders of our terrain went against dematory situations of what conditions? Isabella asks, reading off her study sheet. Angina then answers, wintry conditions. Isabella then says, that's right. Angina then says, see, Izzy, I don't think we need to upheat our studies too hard. We already know this stuff. Even so, Ange, repeating and memorizing makes and builds character. And I need all the character I can get for what I got planned. Now, Takaya the fairy at this point rolls her face expression of as if to say, uh-oh, here we go again. At that, Angina says, let me guess. Conquering something huge. Exactly. And don't laugh when you find out what. What? Angie asks curiously. Isabelle then pauses. Then, without a shrug, says, in a casual manner, the ice beast. At that, Angina stands to her feet and throws her arms way up in the air as Takaya the fairy looks with surprise, but not being too surprised because she knew Isabella was going to say that. Angina then says, Izzy, do you know exactly how huge that ice beast is? I mean, you can't be serious, Angie says. And it seems Isabella is ready to defend herself. You see, Isabella and Angina knows all about that old ice beast. The ice beast story is no mystery. The ice beast tale started not long ago. A crew of explorers who set off to find a new world was a voyage that all knew about. This, of course, was before the heirs to the throne room. Anyway, the plan was to discover and bring back much spoils, but things took a dramatic change as the story goes on. No one but one returned to the mainland, and surprisingly, he didn't come back alone. He came back with a tale so frightening, it made even the local Roman headsmen quiver with fear. An ice beast that stood of monstrous size seized the ship, attacking all in its wake, with an echo in the wind repeating, "The gods need souls." Most likely, it's to keep power that's drained from its captain. Never nothing come up proof of that old ice beast. Nothing but footprints that was seen very close to Exretria, where a lot of wanderers went missing, even in the city of Retria itself. Rumors, they all say. One can never know. You would think that footprints and missing bodies will be the only thing needed, but apparently not. Finishing the last of the figs, Isabella looks very pleased not only with her school lesson, but the completion of a troublesome avenue with her harp playing. Now Angina asks, "So Izzy," Angina starts, "where are we going to hang out? Perhaps your mind changed from wanting to go to Demeter's lair. Perhaps you want to be normal," she jokingly says in Smite. Angina, Isabella answers, "Why are you so confined with behaving with such childishness? Don't you want to reach to a higher frontier like the goddesses? To explore and overturn the untrue and configure fear and conquer fear. Of course, Izzy," Angina confides. "But we also can do all of that and still play foot maze." Foot maze is a game that the young children play. It's a game not of skill, but of remembrance. Kind of like hopscotch. Okay, Angina, okay. It seems you're so inanimate with going and hanging around the locals, so never let it be said that I, Isabella, prohibited you. At that, Angina shouts with a roar, "Splendid, Izzy! Let's go!" So they both, I had to turn it down. So they both leap to their feet to hurry down to the temple ruins. Upon leaving, the twins, Isabella's little sisters, asked to join. Or need I say, took it upon themselves to tag along. In other words, their feet did the asking. Dinner will be serving in a crow's fly, so don't stray too far, Isabella's mother shouts. Now the ground is quite dry as they scuffle down that dusty road, laughing and talking out loud as little girls do. The locals, well, they're buying and selling as usual, but perhaps closing for the day as the day draws to a close. Well, at least most are. Upon arriving, the twins hurry off first to join their friends, already singing and swinging and balancing on tree branches. A voice then cries out for the girls to join them in the game. A voice then cries out to the girls to join them in a game of ball dodge. Isabella and Gina both agreed. And before you know it, the whole temple ruins was full of laughter and youth. Then one of the girls tossed the ball way past the checkpoint and down a hill. And immediately Isabella says, "I'll go fetch it." So off Isabella runs to fetch the ball. Upon arriving, Isabella notices that she haven't been in this part of the temple ruins before. She notices how green the grass is, untainted by human feet. For all sense and purposes, she sees the ball. And she also notices the thick tree population and wonders why there aren't any fruit trees. Anyway, noticing the ball behind one of those trees, she heads to retrieve it. Just then a figure appears to her. And it's not just a normal figure, nor a child's figure, but a grim one of age experience, meaning it moved about with a walking stick, as well as hunched over, with a creepy whisper coming from its mouth. Now, We know by now how brave Isabella claims to be within, meaning if one was looking for Isabella to be frightened, it will be a long wait. Just about to retrieve the ball, the figure whispers something of a riddle of some sort. Two souls are very uneased, and three are willing. Those who search must be aware of the finding. The finding itself may conquer the world. Upon hearing this, Isabella poses a somewhat curious look upon her face, a somewhat suspicious look. Then coming to the immediate conclusion that she was looking at a witch. She had tiny skulls dangling from her cloak, as well as a mysterious crystals that lay all around her black blouse. And her blouse also was as black as the rest of her clothing, such as a jet black twirly hair that hung down along with her pale frigid face. Isabella said, or asked, "Did you say something?" At that the witch replied, "To you, fair maiden, that will be an honor." Isabella replied, "Honored? Over me? Isn't it so that the youth honor the aged?" At that the witch laughed, and boy did she laugh hard. Now, seeing Isabella was taking such an awfully long time, Angina yells to the rest of the kids, "I'll see what's taking Izzy so long," and she hurries off. Now, then the witch slowly raises her head, eye to eye with Isabella. And that very moment Angina approaches, then all of a sudden a bright light appears in the clouds. Takaya by now is amazed and hiding as well with the shock. The witch then screams loudly as she totters away, very fast, but not just any ordinary totter. It's a totter of great fear, yelling, "Rule the world, shall you! Rule the world, shall you! Rule the world, shall you!" Then all gets calm, with the bright light still hovering above. Then grasping her intellect, Isabella, Angina, and Takaya all stared in amazement. Can it be? Is it possible? Yet, behold, it appeared to be the goddess Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Still staring, Isabella says, "If this is who thou think it is, let it be made known." But still, the image in the sky remains silent. At that, Angina says, "Isabella, let's go, now." But for whatever reason, Isabella is unable to move. Her legs were as frail as fig branches, and her voice was crisp as morning froth. So apparently, she couldn't possibly answer Angina back. At that, Takaya flew immediately in front of Isabella's eyesight to deter the shock. It's Demeter," Isabella says in a silent but stuttered voice. At that, Angina gently reaches for Isabella's hand, and gently again begins to pull her away. "Let's walk, Izzy. Come on," Angina insists. At that, Isabella puts one foot in front of the other, and then she began to slowly walk. Once they walked a distance away, all at once, all three turned around, and Demeter was gone. At that precise time, The children in the distance voices began to adjust and be heard. All three girls were shocked. One of the playful pigtail girls asked, "What took you so long, Izzy? And what's wrong with you, Angie? It looks like you've seen a wayward spirit." At that time, one of the children grabbed the ball out of Angie's hand and ran back to the playing field, leaving Isabella and Angina standing there in dismay. "What just happened?" Isabella asked Angina. Angina then replied, "I think we were just saved by the goddess Demeter." At that, they both looked at each other slowly with glossary eyes and began to shrug a huge smile upon their face, as if they saw a famous opera star. Upon walking back to the play area, Angina then confesses, "Isabella, next time we'll go to the Demeter ruins like you wanted to." And Isabella just laughed. All three bailed on the game, well, should I say all two, and headed for home. Upon arriving home, night had set in, and coming through the door was a bit of a star-stunning attraction, making a howery dismay. "Isabella!" Isabella's mother calls out, "What did happen at the ruins? Surely winning a game." At that, Isabella cuts her off, saying, "Mother, it's not that at all. In fact, it's no ruckus at all," Isabella insists as they walk upstairs. Well, at that, Isis, Isabella's mother, then concludes, "Well, supper will be ready shortly." "Okay, mother," Isabella answers. Once upon arriving upstairs, Isabella reaches for the heart with laughter and giddyish. "Can you believe it?" Isabella asks. "We actually came across Demeter." "I know," Angina answers. "It's like, wow, it's true," Angina concluded. Now, Takaya started dancing up a storm on top of Isabella's harp as they both looked on in laughter. Then, Isabella got very serious. "Angina, yes, Izzy, we can never tell anyone what we just saw. We can never tell anyone what just happened." Angina asks, "Are you sure? I mean," Isabella then breaks in and says, "Angina, think about it. Don't you think that was sort of a trust? I mean, I'm sure Demeter wouldn't appear to us if she thought we would tell a soul." Angie then says, "Izzy, you're right. It's ever so forbidden for us to repeat." So they both swore and buried the incident. At that, the twins burst in the house and up the stairs shouting, "Isabella and Angina, you missed it! We won! We won! We won!" At that, Isis, the mother, then says, "I guess winning does create a ruckus." At that, Isabella starts playing her harp with a satisfactory look upon her face. And not surprisingly, Angina joins her. "Angina!" Isabella's mother shouts. "You're free to stay!" Isabella then shouts back, "She will stay as usual, mother," and both burst into laughter along with Takaya. Well, that will conclude our Isabella chapter for this Isabella story today. Hope that makes sense. Wow, whoever thought that would happen? They actually ran into, Demeter. They ran into Demeter. That should be interesting topic. A interesting topic for table talk. Very, very interesting. I'm impressed. I hope you guys had a nice time. And we can't wait to see what happened next time. I wonder what that witch was all about. What was she talking about? Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you on another chapter of Isabelle's diary. And you guys have a nice evening.
Honoring who we are and wishing a very happy Shicer on RVT, Rashids Video Tube.
Up next on RVT, Rashids Video Tube, it's the Rashid and Jan Show. Following that is Rashids Cybertube. It's Shicing once again, and as we celebrate with love and cheerfulness, let's indulge in the most entertaining Rashid entertainment available. And happy Shicing from all of us here on RVT, where it's Rashid all the time.
All day long the bunnies worked, they got so very tired. So when they got home they needed a boost. Rashids chocolate cider. All day long the days were rough, it was no happy choir. So when they got home they needed a boost. Rashids chocolate cider. Well, not cider, but just hot chocolate. Deep, rich hot chocolate. Either plain or with marshmallows. An internet's best friend. And with 3 grams of fat and 6 grams of protein, why wouldn't you go for it? All year round is groovy. You said it, Culper. The marshmallows melt to a thick motherly malt as it oozes down your throat. You probably wouldn't stand for just 1 cup. And your imagination, just might get the best of you, if you know what I mean. All day long the bunnies worked, they got so very tired. So when they got home they needed a boost. Rashids chocolate cider. All day long the days were rough, it was no happy choir. So when they got home they needed a boost. Rashids chocolate cider. So let your imagination run wild all year round. Available at your nearest grocers or go online. Ice cream, balls, shoes, socks, all on social media. Laughing, playing, having fun, all on social media. Books, trains, weight loss gains, all on social media. Different worlds, cute little girls, things that will make you lose your curls, all on social media. Cartoonish babes, the twerking gays, the top 10s that will make you be amazed, all on social media. Rashids Almanac people love, all without a lot of subs, all on social media. That's Rashids social media. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
RVT want to wish you a very happy Shyston season.
And now, enjoy the show. welcome everybody to RVT. This is RVT, Rashids Video Tube, in conjunction with RMJC, Rashids Music Jukebox Center. And I am Rashid the R-Man, coming on live on social media, YouTube, Google, and other social media platforms. I'm glad you guys are here. And welcome to another gathering of the colony. Not just any ordinary colony, because before we do we're not going to do the passages, because this is a section, a brand new section on the colony, which we like to call Rashids Almanac. I hope I pronounced that right also. You'll get what this show on Rashids Colony is about. You'll get it as we go along. No time to explanations and explaining. Just get on board and enjoy the ride, because this is going to be one heck of a ride, I'm sure. Just relax. Take a deep breath. We are the calendar is our motto around here. We are the calendar. In fact, I'm going to write that down. Get used to the voice. It's very so important, because it is shiesty, and it's the beginning of a new show, and it's fitting that you guys should learn or know that this voice is a mint on the Rashids Almanac. We are the calendar. Times and events. Times and events. Drinking some tea. Hope you have some tea. Nice beverage with you. Question. Is the rain falling down harder? Is the rain falling down harder? Simple question. Before I went into detail to discuss how we believe around here that this is the Great Tribulation starting. A lot of preachers and religious organizations beg to differ. We're not a doomsday cult. We're not. But it's fitting for the almanac, because we're watchers of seasons and times. We're watchers of seasons and times, and we're pretty sure we know what we're doing here. I've never misled you yet. So it doesn't make sense for me to mislead you now in any way. we went into a diagram of people standing out in Noah's day, because we know that this is the Great Tribulation starting, and the rain is coming down. But yet and still, everybody's looking up saying, "Oh, look, it's raining. Look at this." Is that water falling from the sky? Can't be. Impossible. And it was like that how long ago, sweetheart? 1 month, 2 months ago was like that. About 2 months ago, give or take 2 months ago. And I said, and you guys who listened to the lecture, I specifically said that it's going to rain harder. Is it raining any harder? Yes or no? Now, I'm telling you that it's going to rain even harder. What bothers me about that is that it feels like my voice is blending with everybody else's. They're saying about this virus, like, okay, it's going to get worse. It feels like my voice is blending with that, and that bothers me. But yeah, and still, I'm going to stick to my guns. And we're going to keep saying what we've been saying around here, because we know better. It's going to get harder, guys. The rain is going to come down harder. Then it's going to come down harder. Now, here's the thing about that. It's going to come down at a gushing. I could say gushing. That's a good word to use. At a gushing point where people are going to stop. See, right now everybody's laughing. You know? Everybody's laughing right now. They see the rain. Some may feel the rain. But everybody's still laughing. Answer me a question. If everybody's concerned about this virus, why isn't anyone coming to God? You would think that the religious organizations will be growing. But did you know they're going to? The scriptures bring out that we're going to hit an apex such a way that people are going to basically, physically, break down the doors of churches, synagogues, and the like, confessing to be Christian, or Baptist, or Muslim, or what have you. It's not time yet. But it's hard to believe that's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're not at that point yet. I'll say, in my opinion, that's how much, people are still laughing. The water's coming down harder, but they're still laughing. Because if they wasn't laughing, they will see that something is not right that's going on here. That's spiritual. See,
You may say man started, either way you look at it is spiritual. God said that man is going to think he's doing things when the Great Tribulation break out. But God is going to be puppeting him to do these things. He's going to think, like in the scriptures it says that God made Pharaoh's heart harder. See, God made it hard. Pharaoh didn't know. He thought it was all him. But why did God do that? Because Pharaoh was stubborn and he wasn't going to bend. Like Sodom and Gomorrah, they were loose living, so God gave them over to their lust and passion. God gave them over, so in a way he kind of blessed them in that fornicating and adultery they was doing. He gave them over to that. You see, God does that. And he warned us that in our day he's going to do it again. He's going to give man over to what he really wants. God is going to do that. He's going to put it in his heart to carry out things. You say that disease started by man from selling animals, or what have you, secretly, because people thinking that also. In fact, people thinking that forefront. Everybody knows this is a government conspiracy, government, Nazi government did it, or somebody did it. Somebody did it. Even us ourselves see the Americans under attack. So somebody did it. Either way, it's here, and man is involved. Now the Bible says man gonna think he's doing things, but God is gonna put it in their heart to do things. You see. So we knew that was imminent in the future with whatever happens. With whatever happens. There's going to be a time when people are going to break down the house of God, break the doors down, and try to squeeze in to be a Christian so hard that the scriptures is giving an example. Their bones in their body will seem like they're breaking. That's how hard they'll be trying to squeeze in and say, I'm one of God's people. That's not happening right now, is it? No, it's not. So we're in the early stages of all of this. And our opinion is raining harder. And they just say, oh, look, it's raining harder now. Look at this. But they're not frightened. They're not doing anything. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree, Steve. The streaming to God's temple, we see it all around us, but it's not the same. It's not like, because some people say they are streaming. They are streaming to God's temple and all, but it's not the same. This streaming is going to be so evident that it's going to shake man. It's going to shake them because people are going to know 100% who is behind everything. The Almighty. And it's going to freeze the earth in shockness. And people will run and try to become spiritual people at that time. But the doors will not be open to them. The doors will not be open to them. The doors will remain shut. They will not be able to get in. Calamity. I guess that's why it's called Armageddon. Nonetheless, of what we're going through, God also said there will never, ever, 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 ever be a people on the planet Earth not happy. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is, God's people around that time are going to be rejoicing the whole time. From the beginning of the tribulation all the way through Armageddon, God's people will be rejoicing. They're going to be rejoicing. They're going to be happy because they see the deliverance is here. There's a lot of things that bother me that I don't talk about on the colony, because sometimes, well, the colony is for a certain type of talking. You know. Sometimes I got hard with it, and from what I understand, a lot of you guys walked away from it. Y'all ran away, said, no, Rashid, that's too hard, that's too deep. So I know what to say to keep your answers here, so you don't run away. I know what to say to keep you here. So I'm not going to disturb you to run away and all. But what I'm in, but what am I? But what I am going to do is give you light. Is give you light, so you can see what's going on here. Fear is like thick quicksand. Fear is like mud. Fear is like the thickness of honey, and it will clog your reasoning. It will prevent you from seeing things. Did you know that? Yes, fear is very powerful. Very, very powerful. Fear can prevent you from seeing things, particularly the truth. And that doesn't hold sway to just religion. And this is part of life. You know, you're home with your parents, and all of a sudden you drop something and break it. Nobody see but you. You're the only one in the house. You see it. You did it. You're guilty. You're guilty. Your parents say, who broke that? Now what child will be stupid enough to say, I did it? You see the point? See, that fear is getting you to sway the conversation in a different direction to make you innocent. See, does that have anything to do with God? Does that have anything to do with Satan? Does that have anything to do with anything? No. It's just that's what man does. And he's been doing it ever since he was a child. That trait never leaves man. It never leaves man. Then when you get older, you have certain names that you can say to fill it. So it could be, I don't know, suitable or decent in society. I turned a deaf ear to what they were saying. That's one. I turned a blind eye to what was seen, what I was looking. I turned a blind eye. That's another. I saw it, but I don't care. That's the foundational one. That's the basic one that people have. They see it, but they don't care. We come from a world of loose living. And I mean, this world is, oh gosh, the fun we had, man. The music we listened to. Wow, it was just beautiful. It was, we had no troubles, you know. We had no troubles, really. We had no real troubles like today's troubles is what I'm trying to say. All our troubles was workable. We could work them out. Even if we got struck with a disease or whatever, we could work it out. There's no problem. Remember the movies that was up? The movies were something. They were really something. They were something to be enjoyed. Good movies. Movies that make sense. That's where we come from. So it's amazing to me how so many people are turning that blind eye and deaf ear and saying they don't see no change. They don't see nothing that's going on right now. They don't see nothing. I don't see anything. Nothing. Now, all of a sudden, what happened? Now we're under a virus attack now. Do you think people still see it? Or saying they don't see it? Well, and saying, and you think people still saying they don't see it? Yes! Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're still saying we don't see nothing, or I don't see nothing. Yes, they are. You know what's confusing me about this disease thing that's going on right here? You know what's confusing me about it? Is that in the earliest stages of it, people were saying, we had this before. We had the Spanish flu. We had this, that, I can't think of it. But we had this before. We had it before. We got through the Spanish flu. Same thing. We had it before. We had it before. Now people are saying, I'm paying attention to the seniors. Now they're saying, I never been through this before. We never been through this before. Now I'm thinking, this is what I'm thinking now. I don't know if you're thinking like this, but we are around here. Rashid is thinking. I'm like, I'm not really seeing. They saw. Now they claim they had seen dead bodies on the street, especially in South Philly on Washington Avenue. Now they're saying they never seen anything like this before. This is worse than what they ever been through. This is worse than seeing dead bodies on the street. That's what these seniors are saying. These seniors saying they had flu epidemics before. So this is nothing. That's what they said at first. Now they're saying they never saw anything like this before in all their years. I'm not really seeing it that bad, really. I'm really not seeing it that bad. Unless I watch the news. Then I'm seeing it that bad. That's just my personal opinion about it. If I watch the news, and that gives us appreciation for the nurses, the doctors, and all the people who are going the extra mile to bring this disease under control. Our hearts and strength go out to them. We want them to know they are so appreciated. And this is why I said, and I quote, if I was ruler, I will make them rich. Now you see why I said it? Remember when I said that doctors, lawyers, especially police officers and firefighters, they supposed to be rich. Am I lying? Am I right? Remember I said that? Now look at what they're going through right now. Am I right? Am I right? After they're doing all this research, the scientists and all that, trying to come up with a vaccine, don't tell me these people are going to go back to struggling. You see what I'm talking about? But then again, that's another story. That's another Rashid was right bullshit, and we'll leave it alone. These people belong rich. Police officers belong rich. Firefighters belong rich, and that's it. But then again, we'll leave it alone. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. These senior citizens are saying they never seen anything like this before. But at first they were saying we've been through something like this before. It's called the Spanish flu. I was about to say Spanish fly, but it's the Spanish flu. I know. This Spanish flu. God damn it. The Spanish flu. The Spanish flu, man. But now they're saying we never seen anything like this before. What are we supposed? How are y'all? Is anybody out there on the same page as me? How am I supposed to think? What I'm supposed? What's right? Which one is? What the fuck is going on here? What the hell is going on? If this is the worst they ever been through, then they ain't been through much. Because I've yet seen some dead bodies on the street, piled up on the street. Are they coming clean? Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Are they coming clean, saying, okay, this is the worst, not the dead bodies on the street, or was there any dead bodies at all? I don't know. I don't know. People love having the ears tickled. You know? And I'm glad that this show is called the Rashids Almanac because, yeah, it's definitely the time period on the calendar around here. Because everybody playing a nut role. And I don't understand why. I don't understand it. After coming from what we just talked about of, you know, put your hands in the air and all this other shit. Now everybody acting like they don't know what's going on here. But nonetheless, at least you know why it's called the Almanac. Ain't gonna chase you away. Ain't gonna say nothing so you can leave. Make you feel uncomfortable. Don't want to do that. Well, don't want to do that. That's not the point of this show. The point of this show is to have true spiritual people here to be on the same aisle and realize there's nothing to be afraid about. There's nothing to be scared about. Not so you can go back to your ordinary life, but because this is salvation. You ever think about God? God. You ever think about God? And people. God says in the scriptures, my thoughts are greater than your thoughts, and my ways are greater than your ways. That's what God said. I thought the wisdom of the world is foolishness with me. That's what God said. So God's intelligence is matchless. Kind of like his love, agape. Kind of like his love. It's matchless. But look at man. Let's take a look at man. Take a look at man. Did anybody out there ever go from a situation where it became better and you couldn't handle it? Think for a second. Let's think for a second. What if you really wanted something? It could have been a job. It could have been a spouse. It could have been food. It could have been a pack of cigarettes. But have you ever been through that and when you got it, you couldn't handle it? You really couldn't handle it. No, you don't understand. You really couldn't handle it. Your heart started beating fast. You start looking around like you're panicking. I can't believe this happened to me. Wow, this is awesome. This is amazing. This is great. This is fabulous. Your heart starts beating. Look at me. I got new clothes on. I'm drunk. I'm high. I got money in my pocket. Wow. And you really couldn't handle it. Your heart started beating fast. Like, wow, I'm in a different life than the way I used to be. It's amazing. This is really amazing. Have you ever been through anything like that? We're people. We're weak, sinful. In fact, the Bible says we're nothing but a speck of dust on the ground. Our thinking is just, in other words, we're stupid. We are. I don't care how smart we are, we're stupid. Now, God isn't like that. Now think about how we are. We get excited when we're poor or don't have anything, and next thing you know, we got money, we got clothes. It's like, wow, this is almost too much to handle. Or you're rich or well off, and you think that you are in trouble financially. You think you're in trouble. You say, I'm in trouble. My broker or stock will take all my money. I'm in trouble. And then the opposite happens. You wind up getting more money or whatever, and you're sitting back rich already, and you're saying, wow, this is too much to handle here. Why is this happening to me? So many people suffering in the world. Why is this happening to me? You can't take it because it feels that good. Has that ever happened to you? Don't forget, we're human, and God is greater than our thoughts. You see, He's much greater than our thoughts. That's what the scriptures bring out. He's much greater than our thoughts. Now, have you ever got what you want and didn't want it? You thought you wanted it, but now you got it. You don't want it. You say, I don't want it. Nothing's wrong. Everything's beautiful. But you're just trying to get out of it. And saying, I'm going to deal with it, but I'm not going to really, take the heart of nothing about it. So you got the brand new car and all, and it's just, then you park, you double park. You drive up on the curb a little bit, brand new car. You treat it different. Because it's like, it's mine. So, you don't want to feel like you got something brand new. You don't want to feel like, have you ever felt anything like that before? You got it. You're supposed to be happy. But yet, you're doing little things like, I don't want to look at it. I don't know. I'm happy I got it or achieved it or whatever. But I don't want to mess with it. You are a human being. And God is greater than our thoughts. Now, here's the thing about all of this. I'm thinking about the Lord. I'm thinking about God. And He knows everything. Even the hairs on even the hair on our heads. He knows they're all numbered. We already heard that thing. We already heard it. Now, how is this going to be done? Look out that window right there. Look at the world. How do you think that's going to be done? What's going on right now? God is supposed to take us and put us in a brand new world full of peace. Think about how you are now. I'll give you some time. Think about how you are. God's thoughts are great. You ever get a new pet? What will happen if you go to somebody's house who has a pet dog or a pet cat? And they love their pet dog and their pet cat. They love them. And all of a sudden you take that dog, put them in a brand new house, and just sit back and just watch how you act. How would that dog act? Or cat, or bird, how would they act? Especially a dog, how would they act? We have intelligence. They run by instinct. We have intelligence. Now, don't forget, buildings are going to fall down. And we're going to see it. We're going to see people we know screaming and hollering, getting killed in front of us. It could be our mother, our father, or even our brother or sister, whoever. Things serving God, they got to go. You know how right now you're feeling sorry for your fellow man because of this disease. God said, don't feel sorry for him. Just like Noah in the ark. When they was banging on their ark door, said, open that door. Noah, it's raining. Did that door open up? No. See, that door stayed closed. You see, ain't no fellow man in hell in it. Ain't no fellow man in hell in it. So we supposed to go through all of that. Go over to the new world, flat earth, because it's going to be flat. Total destruction all around. Everybody's dead bodies all over the place. Now come the great feast. We're going to actually see animals rise up and eat the bodies of strong men, weak men, and children, infant babies. Don't forget about the babies. A grizzly bear eating a little baby. And we got to sit there and look at it. The Bible calls it the great feast. An angel will come out of the sun and cast animals all around, eat the bodies up of strong men, weak men, children, women, everybody get eaten. It's all in the book of Revelation. So that's what's going to happen to the bodies. They're going to be eaten by the animals. Now we begin to make this beautiful paradise earth like the Garden of Eden, transforming the earth right back to Eden when Adam and Eve first was in the garden. We're still ourselves now. You know how I know we're still ourselves? Because the dead is going to be brought back to life. And we got to teach them about who God is. Some will already know. Those are going to be resurrected to life. Those that don't know is going to be resurrected to judgment. And that's our job to teach them. So now we're teaching somebody whom we know was dead. That's something. Now think about who you are now. When you get the new pair of sneakers and money in your pocket, think about who you are. When you get money or whatever, when you say, I can't handle this is too much here. All this nice things happening to me. Think about who you are. How is it going to be done? You tell me. I'm convinced fully. Do you know why I'm convinced? I'll tell you why I'm convinced. I'm convinced because I came from that world where everybody thought they was a bad motherfucker. And now look at everything now. And I was thinking back then, how is this going to be done? You see how it works? See, I come from that world where it was a big problem. This crack cocaine was a really big problem. I come from a world where all this American pride was all they chest, they white chest was in everybody's fucking face. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with the police officers backing them up. I come from that world. And I was reading back then that one day all of that is going to stop. And it was almost to the point where I'm looking up in the heavens going, oh please. Oh please. With the music they listening to, with how they acting all around the world, all of it is going to stop. How is that going to happen? All this damn pride, all this damn boldness, how is it going to come to a stop? But guess what? I believed it was. I believed it. You know why? Because it was written in the book. So I believed it. It is going to come to a stop. People thought I was crazy. People thought I was a nut. They say, here come Rashid with that Bible stuff. He gonna start talking to you about one day all this is gonna be over bullshit. That's what he's gonna do. That's what he's gonna do. That's what Rashid gonna do when he come up to you. He gonna talk about one day all this bullshit gonna be over with. And the music was bumping back in them days. I mean, the music was bumping back in them days. Ooh, it was a good time. What? You watched the Sunkiss commercial. I don't know if y'all remember Sunkiss soda. But everything was like a Sunkiss commercial. Everything was just beautiful. Everything was just perfect. Black people, white people, Oriental, they latched on the white people, helping them out in their glory, in their American glory. You know, especially if you got an Oriental friend. You know, they sticking up for the white people and all this stuff. All that was going on, all that fucking shit. And I was reading in the book that it's all going to come to a complete stop. And I was saying, well, Lord, Jehovah, okay, if you say it's going to come to a stop, it's going to come to a stop. And I believed it. I believed it. With every ounce of my fiber in my body, I believed it. So I was considered a cuckoo. I stopped, going to the service sometimes, and I was out in the street smoking weed and with the women and shit, and being a sick pervert. And I worked my way back to the congregation again, back and forth, because that was me struggling, trying to do the right thing. But I always knew when I was out in the world, please don't let it happen now. I prayed to God, don't let it happen now when I'm out in the world. Just let me get myself together. Let me get myself together, please. Because I knew it was going to happen. Then I worked my way back in the congregation, and they were some of the meanest, coldest Christians you ever came across. And I dealt with them. I dealt with them the best way I can. And I knew that was going to come to a complete stop also. So I had to really listen to the words only not people, the words, because everything around was corrupt. Especially if you didn't run like them and think like them. You was on your own. Now look at today. Am I still wondering? Yes, because I just explained it to you. I'm still wondering how people are going to be put in God's kingdom and not go nuts. Remember how we talked about it? How would a dog feel? You put them in a brand new house, or how would a cat feel? You put them in, they're going to act weird. Likewise, imagine a person all of a sudden waking up. And you know when you wake up, you forget shit. You ever get something really? You ever get a new toy? You ever get a new toy? You ever get a new something you always wanted? You don't remember that when you go to sleep. You know that? When you wake up, your memory is fresh. Like a brand new cake of soap. It's fresh. Did you know that? It's fresh. It's fresh. All your memory come back gradually, you see. And when you come across something you're really happy about, boy, do you feel it. Man, do you feel it. Gosh, it's like the sun just opened up your roof and came right into your house and started shining. But what if it was something bad, like somebody died, or you lost your job, and you wake up and gradually that comes in? Oh, it sucks, don't it? It sucks just as much as something was good, you know? Now we're talking about waking up in God's kingdom. Think about that. How's it going to be done? How is it going to be done? How can it be done? How? For a spiritual person who's waiting for that? That's what you're waiting for? You're waiting for that? Really? Can you handle that? Can you handle what's going on now? What if you knew 100% that this world would never, ever get back the way it used to be? What if you knew that 100% right now? Would you still be sitting down where you at? Yes or no? Where would you run to? Tell me, where would you run to? What if you knew 100% this world will never ever go back the way it used to be? Right now, 100%. Would you still be sitting where you are? Alright, my question is, where would you run to? Do you know that might be the case? See, we don't know. We don't know. We hoping it's not the case, of course. But who knows? But are you relying on man or are you relying on God? You're relying on man. See how easy that was? You know what I did? I took you guys, I put y'all in a toothpaste. You know, you ever squeeze out some toothpaste? That's what I did to y'all just now. So I put you into a tube of toothpaste and I squeezed you out nice and slow. See, you believe in man. You believe in man. Do you really think God will make it that easy to become saved, become baptized, and just suffer for a little bit and then walk right over into his brand new world? You really think he will make it that easy? That easy. It's only easy to people who are close with God. You understand that? It's only easy with people who are close with the Lord. That's when it's easy. Other than that, you got issues. You got huge, huge issues. At this time right now, before you start listening to me, are you putting your absolute faith and trust in God? Or are you just talking about it when you get up on the stage, and once you step down the stage, you're so wrapped up in everything gonna be all right? Are you, in other words, what I'm trying to say is you're a spiritual person. Are you thinking about God's kingdom seriously? Yes or no? You baptized, right? You saved, right? Now why are you not thinking about God's kingdom? We see what's going on here. I said things are going to get worse. I said things are going to get worse, guys. We're going to see things. Didn't I say that? I said, guys, we're going to see things. They're going to look really scary, but we got to stick together. Didn't I say that? Okay. What's the problem? I'll give you a few minutes to answer. I want to know what's the problem. You see? The scriptures say, beware as you are standing that you do not fall. You see? That's what the scriptures say. Beware of whom they think they are standing, that they do not fall. Peter said, I will never, ever, 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 I will never betray you, master. Jesus said, before that crow, what? 3 times, right? Before he makes 3 noises, you will betray me. True or false? But at the time, you couldn't tell him nothing. He said, oh no, I won't. You can forget that. No, I won't. Who shut the ark door? Noah or God? We all know God did. See, God shut it. Because if Noah did it, he would have opened up, because he would have had compassion and mercy for his neighbors. So God shut the ark. Now think about what Peter did. In effect, God had to shut the ark. All that building Noah did, and all that laughing they did in his face, and guess who still had to shut that ark? And because of what? You'll think Noah will be like, God, you don't got to shut this ark door. I'm going to do it myself. All that laughing it was doing at me, all that mocking me, making fun of me. No, Lord, I want to shut this ark door, and I know I'm not going to open it up. But was it like that? Now, look outside that window. Are you really doing anything wrong? Are you really thinking anything wrong? You're a person. You're human. Ain't that what we're talking about? See, you have to realize who God is. See, it's in our head that God is a big, old white man with a beard, or a black man, or whatever. He's exactly like people. And you know who made that worse, that thinking worse? Buddha, who was a man also. Jesus. who is a man also. Muhammad. That's who. That's who made thinking that God is a man with the manly traits. That's who made that possible. Because of that right there. Because of that right there. But you're not paying attention to spirit. You're not paying attention to corruptness that we are. You're not paying attention to sin. You're not paying attention to we are defiled. See, we never met a perfect man. We never met one. We never. How do we know? Right. Oh, thanks. Baby, let me use something. We never met a perfect man. How do we know what a perfect man is? Baby, let me do my thing now. How do we know what a perfect man is? We never met one. We never met one. So we're confused, aren't we? We get these spiritual leaders who walk on that stage and they say this and they say that. And we say, God is like that. That's what God is like. You know why? Because that person is appointed by Holy Spirit to have a position in a Christian or Muslim congregation or Muslim, and nobody else is there but him. And the way he is, God must be like that because God approved of him. Right? God approved David too. And look what he did to Bathsheba. God approved Solomon, and look what happened to him. You see? You can't go nowhere. You can't. It's slipping right out your fingertips. You never met a perfect man, and you think God is like these men. You think God is like these men. Well, we're guilty of that, thinking God is like basic man, like Santa Claus. Basically like Santa Claus. He's going to come back and go, I die thy judgments on thy wickedness. Thy people on thy left hand prepare for doomness, but thy people on my right hand prepare for everlasting life. See, that's not his. It's going to happen that way. A manly way, like a regular man thing. A regular man thing. And we're going to be able to take it like regular people and say, okay, that makes sense, God, the Lord. Enter my new kingdom, because in my kingdom you can now you can live in peace now and not worry about evildoers, for they have been cut off from the earth, and you can live in peace as a big man, a man. Now I'm going to wipe every tear from your eyes, and death will be no more. No mourning, no outcry, no pain will be anymore. The former things passed away. A man. And this makes us comfortable, like putting on a new pair of slippers, that we can relate to somebody like that. You know why? Because they all around us. You see how it works? They all around us. So we can relate to somebody like that. So that's what we're waiting for. That's what we're waiting for. But you have to remember one thing, that the man you got in your head like that is not perfect. So how do you know he's going to talk that way? That's a front. I have yet met a man like that. In fact, men like that is only on commercials, especially back in the 70s and 60s. That's where they exist. You talking about Brownie, paper towel man? You talking about him? What man is like that? No, a man like that makes mistakes, so he can't be like that. So if he's like that, how's somebody perfect going to be like that? You see how it all makes sense? See, it's all like a chain. It's all connected together. You see? But man has a way of tackling things that makes him comfortable. I see the disease going on. Man will find a cure for that. So I'll sit back and wait. Okay, we gotta wait a year. We can stick it out. Stick it out. We can wait a year. They say 18 months. Okay, we can wait it out. Relying on man. We can wait it out. We can stick it out. I'll just stick it out for 18 months. There's no problem. This quarantine, whatever. 18 months ain't long. They'll come up with something. And next you know, bang, it's over with. Bang, bang. Buddha, bang, bang. Man got it. See? It's that easy. It's all over. It's like taking a needle. There's nothing. Man got it all under control. You see? We're comfortable with that. So we're going to bring that mentality right over to spirituality and say the same exact thing because it makes us comfortable that God the Almighty is going to be like that too. But is it so? Is it so? Yes, it is so. This is just as so as some people saying God is a white man with straight hair, God is a black man with curly hair, God is Allah. He's not God, he's Allah. Jews is waiting for their Messiah. It's just as so as the Orientals saying Buddha is God. It's just as so as all of that. It's all of that. Yes, indeed. Yes. Yes. Now, what do we do now, guys? This is what Rashid is asking his Sadicians. What do we do now? We see what's happening out there. We know the truth, don't we? So now what do we do? Well, we're house bugs in the first place, so going outside, we don't give a fuck about that much. Absolutely, so we don't give a fuck about that. So that rules that out. Running up and down the street acting fucking stupid this summer, that rules that out. We don't care too much about going to this event or this event because everybody there are fucking assholes. So that rules that out for Sadicians also. We don't care about meeting people because they're not going to like us anyway. You know why? Because we Sadicians and we nice. And Rashid is nice and everybody can't stand him. So that rules that out wanting to meet people. We don't care about trying to be in Hollywood red carpet because everybody having fun watching Rashid try to be a celebrity in Hollywood. Ain't that white, everybody? Ain't that white, everybody? So we rule that out. So I think we're pretty fucking alright around here. Not changing everything to be selfish. But I got true Rashid friends out there. And this almanac is for us. Now everybody around here that like to get their ears tickled, they can come and get them tickled all they want. But it's going to be hell of a tickling because we ain't going to play around here. By far. No holding, no punches around here. This is the way it is around here. Period. Get used to the idea, guys. Get used to the idea that this might be it. Period. I don't care what preacher you listen to. I don't care what reverend said this or that. Get used to the idea that this may be it. It may be it. The Bible says stay watchful and steadfast. So you don't have to run and put oil in your lamps. We don't see no American pride no more because it's damaged. We don't see no ghetto pride either because that's damaged. What else we don't see? We don't see no fashion no more. The former things have passed, the world is passing away, and so is its desires. But he that does the will of God remains forever. So if those desires pass away, they pass away for us. We don't see any. Now we really ain't gonna see any. Everybody's fucking quarantined. Man believe what they believe. We believe what we believe. So no mere man can listen to this and get angry at Rashid over nothing. It's fair game. It's fair game. They believe what they believe. They teach how they teach. And we the same. So it's fair game. We're confident. I'm confident. See, I know what's going on out there. Can't you hear it in my voice every day as I talk to you? Can't you see it in my persona that I persona on social media? If that's a word, shit. I don't give a fuck because I know what's going on out that window, dude. It's that simple. I know what's going on. It's that simple. It would be good if I could, this, that. Hey, I know what's going to happen next. I predicted this shit, didn't I? If I know what's going on, I know what's going on. And I'm not in a position, that's what I'm already saying. I'm not in a position where I can help the world either. I can't. How am I do that if I just know what's going on? This is it. This is it. And this is what I've been waiting for since I was a cab driver. And we was together. This is it, sweetie. This is it. This is it. Now, just to benefit out, just to be the benefit. Okay. Let's keep it real. Okay. Let's just see, are we right or not? How about that? Let's just see, is Rashid right or wrong? I haven't been wrong yet, but wouldn't it be something when if I was wrong in front of you guys, y'all say, Rashid, you was wrong. Father Rashid, you wrong. You lost that one. That would be something. But I know that this is it. I'm not saying confident like I'm the ruler of this or ruler of that. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it meekly. With a humble heart, guys. So you got to get to know what kind of person I am. With a humble heart, I'm saying, I know this is it. My thinking is different than anybody's. I know for a fact that all these people that's dying from this disease, they're not going nowhere. They're about to get woke right the fuck back up. Ain't that something? It's the truth. It's the truth. Most of them are going to get woke right the hell back up. There's going to come a time in the memorial tombs where they're going to hear God's voice say, get up out of that damn ground. And all the tombs going to open and the dead will be brought back to life. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere, man. And if they dying, they say thousands, millions, whatever, they ain't going no fucking where. They ain't going no goddamn where. They ain't going nowhere, man. Nowhere. Spirituality is the way. Entering into a new world is the way. And I never went into detail about what are we going to do? I got a new pair of sneakers I can't handle. I got these sneakers, man, for a birthday present. And I can't sleep. I can't sleep. You know why? Tomorrow we're going to Great Adventures theme park. We're going to Disney World tomorrow. I can't sleep. My brain won't let me sleep. And that same brain is going to wake up and see all this beautiful God. God is the ruler of the world. No more white man. No more white man. God is the ruler of the world. Satan is gone. And all these people, we all love each other. And your brain can handle that. How are we going to do that? I'm confident. You know why? Because just like the Israelites was confident and saw all the plagues that God put on Egypt, they were confident when Egyptians was crossing that sea and Moses closed it up. See, they were confident because they knew what their God could do for them. You see, I'm confident just like that. See, I know where we come from. I know how hard the world once was. Right now, there's a bunch of knuckleheads on this motherfucker, but all the gangsters dead. And everybody know all the gangsters dead. See, I know where we come from. A lot of people forgetting where we come from. I'm not forgetting all the racist blows that was thrown around. I'm not forgetting them riots that was going on because of injustice, because of race. I'm not forgetting about a goddamn thing. But it appears everybody else is acting stupid, playing a nut role. And this is why it's a good thing that you're doing this. It's a very fucking good thing that you're doing this. You know why it's a good thing that you're doing this? Because it's showing change. It's showing change you've never seen before. And inside your head, you're running like a motherfucker. And you should be. And you should be. If you wasn't, there'll be no change. If nothing was going on, you're saying everything is the same way. See, I'm not forgetting where I come from. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. And with that in mind, I'm confident that when we enter God's kingdom, if I'm on the right hand of the Lord, I will be confident in dealing with it also. Because just like I'm saying, how I'm going to cope with that, see, I'm thinking like that. You see, I'm thinking, how am I going to cope with the fact waking up every day knowing white rulership is over, God, Jesus is ruling, everybody outside is a true brother of mine, everything. How am I going to deal with that? How am I going to deal with it? It's like saying, how am I going to go to Great Adventure or whatever amusement park if I ain't got no lunches to pack or I ain't got no clothes, no good clothes to wear? How am I going to do it? See, I'm looking at it real like that. That's how I'm looking at it. And I'm confident that it will be okay. Just like I was questioning how the hell God gonna stop all this pride that's going on in my fucking face while I was driving that damn cab. And yet, it's here. God did it. God did it. I'm sure a lot of you guys got miracles too, because things change. I don't know why you're not thinking about them, because I am. But that's your decision. That's your will. That's your choice. Listen to this. Have your ears tickled, because we're going to get harder on this. We're going to get much harder on this right here. This is the Rashids Almanac. And I think we should step up the colony in a different direction from time to time. From time to time. I think it's only suitable. What do you say, guys? Be a man. Grow up here. What do you say? You're tough, right? You been tough. All that fucking music was going on around this motherfucker. The Greek picnic was here. When all that other shit was going on. Well, what everybody bitch? I don't give a fuck about the disease. What everybody bitching for? But then again, everybody's not Rashid, so I feel that shit, man. I feel that. It's here, guys. This may be it. Don't quote me yet. Don't quote me just yet. But this may be it, guys. And what you gonna do if it is it? What you gonna do? What you gonna do if it is it, man? You don't have a clue. You don't have a faintest idea, do you? It's funny. God knows. Now all we gotta do is just sit back and wait and find out if this is it. But this is the time to be tough. This is the time to have a stiff upper neck. Hold your chin up. Raise yourselves erect because your deliverance is here. God won't tolerate anything less. Anything less. And I'm telling you, it's going to get worse, guys. Okay? Now I want y'all to listen to me. It's going to get worse. We have to stay strong. We have to stay strong. God will not leave us. I made the example like we are Israelites. And we see America change. We saw America change. We see America change. We see change all around the world. And we're happy. We're celebrating. Now we turn around and here come the Egyptians. Now the Egyptians is that coronavirus. That's the Egyptians right there. Coronavirus. That's the Egyptians. We here, we see the change, right? We got this. Things change. We got this. Look over there. Look over there. Over where? Over where? Look over where? Oh no, look at coronavirus. That's the Egyptians coming for us, crossing the Red Sea. What are we going to do? What are we going to do, guys? What are we going to do now? Let's sit back and watch what we do. Okay? Let's sit back and watch what the fuck we do. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to do this again real soon. Yeah, this was awesome. This is good. The first Almanac, Rashids Almanac show. I couldn't even think of the name. I swear I couldn't even think of the damn name. Can't wait for the next one because we will get through this. We just had to toughen up the colony. You know, make a little section on the colony a little tougher here because things getting stupid and crazy here, and we gotta be tough around here. Now, come on, guys. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Up next on RVT, Rashids Video Tube, it's the Rashid and Jan Show. Following that is Rashids Cyber Tube. It's Shiestin' once again, and as we celebrate with love and cheerfulness, let's indulge in the most entertaining Rashid entertainment available. And happy Shiestin' from all of us here on RVT, where's Rashid all the time.